Hello, welcome to Clue 1, right? Do we know this box? The Mystery Quilt. Yes, so we're working on Clue 1. So we're going to take our stuff out, and what we're going to do actually is put all of our like little stickies on our fabric. This one here, I have fabric one there. We're going to pull out all our stuff because this is our very first one. So here's our Clue 1 and our mystery, which we're Mystery Quilt open first. So we're going to open this first, and ta-da! The quilt is called Who's There from Forget Me Not Quilt Shop. And it just tells you everything that we've got, and then it has this little paper that will tell you where to put your fabric swatch. So you will cut a little piece of fabric and stick them in the swatch for you to, a way for you to organize, if you like that. I just go ahead and I just put my little stickers on here. So that was the Open Me First. Now, in this bag, you have the thread to use for this project. I already have one in here. And what I went ahead and did is, as you can see, I pre-wound a bunch of white bobbins. So I have all these bobbins pre-wound, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-wind one more for us to have. And I just think it's a good way to organize this whole quilt thing. And so my thing is going off. Next thing you wanna do is make sure you have a new needle. Make sure you have a new needle in your machine. Make sure your machine is all cleaned out. And, it's very simple for some folks. You just pop this open. For me, I just pull this out. And then I come in here and I just want to make sure that it is all dusted, all clean, ready for our first clue. Look, I had some fuzzies in there. This is why we do this. So I'm just basically... that's our first step before we start any clue, right? We're gonna make sure that, and you see, I thought I had my machine all well cleaned up. Haha, surprise. So now I'm gonna put my bobbin back in. This in, I have my bobbin winding, right? Gonna put that in. I'm gonna put this bobbin in here on the side, just because I'm not sure if it's the same exact one. So I've just put this somewhere I can get to it. And so you have changed your needle, right? Cleaned it, have bobbins wound so that we can start. I'm putting mine in, getting myself all ready, because really Clue 1 is more than just the clue. It's getting ourselves ready for this mystery adventure. All right, so I have that all down. Now I have this, it's called a Quilt in a Day So Steady or So Straight or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead, and if you have any of these things in on your sewing machine, now is the time to go ahead and put a nice fresh piece of washi tape, right down on there. What we're doing is we're getting ready to do this sewing. That's what we're doing. All right, so we have a clean machine, a new needle, and I just did put a new needle in there. Bobbins wound, and now we are going to use the same thread to thread our machine. Our machine is threaded. Watch this. And here we go. So now my machine's all ready to go, dusted and ready to go. Then, if you do not have a Quilt in a Day so straight, she has included some of this washi tape, which has the lines marked on there. So you can go ahead and put this and put it right on your sewing machine. It is very easy to install. You just kind of take the red line and just kind of put it down. And my plate is all marked, so I go with the markings on my plate and just put it down. But I'm using this. All right, So now that we have that stuff put aside, let's go. And you, if you like to use this so that you can get yourself organized, you can go through and cut a tiny little piece. But I'm always afraid to do that. That's just me. So let's open up clue 1. And clue 1. We are going to read clue 1. We are making a 4-patch block, and we're using strip sets to do so. So what we're going to do is take fabric 1, which is this, and my fabric 1, you'll see because we're going to cut this together, is the white. And then I need to find fabric 3 in my box that I labeled. Oh, and I know where it is because I ironed it. Fabric 3 right here, and I ironed it. Okay, so these 2 things are ready to go. That means I'm going to put everything else aside because I have my machine all ready to go. So come follow me. And let's cut. So you're not going to see me, you're just going to see the fabric. And we're going to take our clue. And it's very simple. We're going to go with fabric 1, which is this one here. And we are going to make a nice little straight cut across. There we go. You cut the way you like to cut. I know lots of folks do not cut this way. I already know that. I've heard it. You guys cut this way, and that's great. Whatever works for you. So it says for fabric 1, we need 5 strips of letter A. So 1, 2, 3, 5. So here we go. We have 5 strips of letter A. So I don't know why I counted that 5. Don't worry about that. And then you're going to count to double check the measurements, right? And we have the measurements. And we're going to cut 5 of these strips. So we've got 1. And we're going to go with our second one. And I always make sure that right here on this line, that fold is on that line so that we don't get any kind of wonky sets. We definitely don't want any wonky sets or strips. I should say, when you make the strip set, it'll be wonky. But we also don't want a wonky strip. So I'm looking across here, I'm looking across there, and now we have 3. And then 4. And 5. So I have 5 fabric ones, and these 5 fabric ones, we're going to give it a letter, and the letter is going to be A. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there's different ways of marking it. I happen to have my pin, my clips, and I have a little A sticker on there. So we have our A done, and it's all ready to go. Now we're going to cut our B, and you see how I have my tag here, so I know this is fabric 1. That's what I do to keep myself in check. And here we go, fabric number 3. Here it is. I put it right there. Excuse me. Now, we're going to go this way, that other way. And this fabric here is Riley Blake American Beauty by Danny Magastad? I don't know. Probably butchering his name. So I'm going to move that little tag. I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to read again my clue. And it says for fabric 3, I'm going to need 5 strips. And that's going to be letter B. So now I have the fold on this end. I'm probably driving you guys nuts by doing that. I have the fold on this end. again, you cut the way it makes sense to you. Do not have to do what I am doing. I totally get, I cut uniquely. And I'm going to count and make sure that my strip size is where it's supposed to be. And it is. And I happen to be using an 8.5 OmniGrid ruler because that's what I have. And I come here and I make sure it's all, oops, all done right. I have 3 strips, right? 1, 2, 3. And we're doing this all real time. This has not been edited. So we're working together. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I need 1 more. So I'm coming in here, making sure everything is where I want it to be. And there we go. So now I'm going to keep this for any kind of future, right? For a future clue, along with my white for a future clue. And we're gonna put this all here. And now this is letter B. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this with a B clip or any kind of organizational piece of paper, whatever you want to do. So there we go. So I have A and B. I'm going to put this aside, right? Put all my stuff aside, and we're going to go back to sewing area. So here we go. We have, now it says sew together a strip, which is this, and a B, sew together A strip to a B strip. Excuse me, make 5 sets. So what's the next thing we're going to do? I am going to keep my letters next to them. Now I like to sometimes take my strip set, right? And you know how it has a little right here? It has a crease. So I like to get rid of that crease. And there's many ways to do it. I like to get rid of it. So, you can do one of 2 things. You can use breast press, you can use water, or you can just use your iron. I'm going to wet it a little because it's kind of like a stubborn spot. And I'm going to take my iron and I am going to give it a good press. And as you can see, it worked itself out. While I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and iron the whole strip and get this ready to sew. Here we go. Now that we have that all ironed out, this is my preference. Again, I'm showing you what I'm doing, or what I would do. So now we are going to take our strip set, and I know you can't see me, it's okay. It's more important that you see this. We are now going to put down our sewing foot, and we're going to make sure that we are going to sew 1/4 inch. So you're doing a 1/4 inch. Some people like to do a scant, but I just do the 1/4 inch that's on my machine. And I come in here, I hold this, and I'm just following this line all the way down, right? And we are going to do this 5 times because we are going to make 5 sets. Now, you and I are not going to be sewing 5 sets together because I'm just going to show you how to do one strip and how to cut it and how to put together those 4 patches. And you can take your time. There's no race. You can relax. Maybe watch a live on YouTube or replay something else on YouTube. Music, movies, I don't know, whatever you're into. All right, so we have the first one. You would do that 4 more times. So now we're going to iron, or shall I say press. And I'm going to, now, according to this, it's saying that you are going to press, there's a diagram, towards the dark side. So we are going to take our iron, set our seam, and then we are going to come in here. I like to kind of give this a pre-open. It's my preference. And come in here and just kind of flatten it and then go from there. And we're going to put this right across. And what we're going to do, make sure everything is the way it should be. Now we have our strip all iron towards the dark, and now we are going to subcut these into the sections. So I'm going to take you over. We're going to go back over and we're going to subcut these. All the measurements are in your pattern for you to enjoy, right? Because you're going to enjoy this process and the measuring and everything. So we're going to take that like that, put it there, and now I'm going to show you something that I like to use. This is something that I like to use. I have one of these stripology rulers. And what I do here is I put the line, the sewn line on there. And then I find where I'm going to cut, like my measurements. And I stick my little arrows to those measurements. So I know that that has to be there. And this one has to be here. And that one has to come over here. So I did something wonky here. 1, 2, 3.5. Okay, so now that's a half. Okay, and then I have, this should go here. This is why you have to check your math. It takes a little time setting your station up, but it is well worth it. There we go, so I have that. And now I need some more, so I'm gonna come over here. And I can only do up to here because I don't have enough. So I have this. I am going to come in and hit the 0 line, and then I just go through exactly where the measurement is. That's one way of doing it, okay? We've got multiple ways of doing this. Now I'm going to pick it up, And I can tell you we have to cut 60 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now let me show you another way. We can use our ruler that we had, and we can find the measurement, and we can count, and then we're going to make sure that this line is on the stitch line. And then we can come in and cut. Come in and cut, right? And then there's possibly one more way too. So we have that, we have that. There's one more way that I was asked to see if we can do, and we are definitely gonna give it a go and a try. So you're getting this ruler in your mystery quilt. And there really is no lines here that are going to tell you this measurement, except for right here, this right here. If you, wow, find your washi tape, find the end of your washi tape. Right here, there's a white line on this Creative Grids. This is if you're in a pinch and you do not have anything else. You can see that that's that measurement. You can see if I use this here, that's the measurement. So if you're in a pinch and you only have this ruler, you absolutely can use this by coming over here, making sure this white line is across and that this other white line down is down, and you can cut. See that? So see, and they're perfect and identical. So if you only have this, you absolutely can use it to cut the rest of yours. How crazy is that, right? Also, another way is if you happen to have one of these trim it rulers that measures exactly what you need, then you can come on in and use that to cut all the way through. So I gave you multiple ways, right? We can use a stripology ruler. We can use our regular ruler that we just did our strips with. We can use, believe it or not, our Creative Grids that we're getting right in the box, or if you have something like this, which is a trim it, which is the exact size you need, you just cut across. I hope I'm giving you lots of ways of doing things, because, you know, there's always so many ways of doing things. So here we go. Now we have our strip sets, and out of one strip, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got 12 of these in one strip, which is great because we've got 5 strips, and 5 times 12 is 60. So we're on to something. We are on to something. We're going to put that aside. Going to put the washi tape aside, and we're going to come back to the sewing machine. And here we go. Put this aside. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take, right, there's 12. So we're going to take 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We are going to put the dark on the top, and then we are going to rotate this one over to have our 4 patch, and we're going to look at it, and they are going to match from the picture and for what we're sewing. We will put this away, and then here we go. So what I do is I will take my 2 pieces, and if you flip them over, you will see that they will nest, and they will nest beautifully. You can pop a pin right in there if you'd like. I would, but just to make sure everything stays exactly where you want it. And then you just come right through. So let's go ahead and do that for all of these. And I'm going to go ahead, again, let them nest. And I'm going to go ahead and do them all here and then run them all through. Chain sewing, it makes things fast. And we have everything here. Next one. And you would do this until you've got 30 units. So you need 30 of these units. And you come through. And our last one. So, and you just want to make sure it's all flat. Now, for those who want to press open, feel free to press open. Again, I'm just going by the pattern, and we are going to press this a little different though. In this pattern, they want us to pop the center. So we'll read that, and I will show you how we're going to do that. And I'm going to keep going here. And our last one. For the demonstration, that is, you would be doing this till you had 30 units. All right, so I'm going to cut my thread, and I am going to use my blade saver to take these apart, and then we're going to grab our iron. So you're going to do that 4 more times in a strip. So we're going to match the center, sew the 2 sections together to make a 4 patch. And we're making 30 units. We're going to pop the center seam and press the direction of the arrows. So here we go. We have this. We have our iron. We are going to press. Right? We're going to press just the seam. And we're going to pop the center. So popping the center just means you're pushing this seam up, right? So, hold on, let me get this. So we're going to iron so that the seams all lay pinwheeled. And we're popping the seam. Sorry, folks, it's being a little precocious. There it goes. Okay, that's the way the seam wants to pop. We're gonna pop it that way. That's not the way that this has us ironing it. But we're going to pop it this way because that's the way it wants to go. It makes like a little 4 patch in the center here. I'm going to try this one more time. Take that. And we are going to pop our seam. All right. Let me show you. There it goes. See how there's like a little 4 patch in the center? There we go. So you would take all this, put all your pieces all done up, grab one of your, one of these project bags, and then you're going to stick your pieces all on there. Put in your clue 1 right in the bag, and you know that your clue 1 is all ready to go. So I hope that helps some folks. If you have any questions, please ask us. We're all here to help. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. So take care of yourself, pass it forward, and enjoy the sew. Take care. Bye.